Hello everybody, on today's video I am going to be doing a Maleficent piece. This image is not mine. I did find it online with a Google search when I looked up Chibi villains. I think it's pronounced Chibi. So I found this image and I thought that, I was getting kind of, not bored, but I wanted to do something different for my 29 Faces of February, and I thought, well, maybe I could do some Disney characters. And then I saw this Chibi and I thought it was pretty neat, so I decided to go ahead and draw this one. And again, it is not my image. I did find it on Google, and unfortunately I couldn't find the link or a name to credit the image to someone. So there's nothing linked below where you can find this image or the name of the original creator. So basically I decided to go ahead with it anyway and go ahead and draw it for my February challenge. So it was a little bit challenging because it's not my style, and overall the image didn't turn out exactly like the original anyway. It has the same colors, it has the same shapes, just there were parts of my drawing that did look slightly different than the original. I know that doesn't make it mine, but it does slightly go off of the original just a little bit. But not enough to say that, hey, this is my drawing. So in the end, still not mine, but I did have fun drawing it and putting the pieces and everything all together. So basically what I tried to do here is that I've been watching some videos online on YouTube from other artists, and they have created, I don't know if they created or if they picked up the technique of shading a certain way and blending a certain way with Prismacolor pencils. So I thought, hey, I'd give it a go. And I did order some tan tone and gray tone paper, but because I was still doing the February challenge, I wanted to keep it all in the same book if I could. So I didn't go ahead and do this on the paper that they suggest to use for this type of drawing, or the coloring effect, I guess. So it doesn't look as good as it would if it was done on the toned paper, but in the end it did turn out pretty good either which way. And I did again find the coloring with the pencils challenging. Coloring with the basic coloring lead or colored pencil is really, you can put down some color, but sometimes you want to make it look like it's blended more so it has a more painterly effect. And I thought it was going to be pretty easy, but it turns out that it takes a while to get this technique down. So I really did enjoy the technique, so I'm going to be doing some videos in the tan tone and the gray tone sketchbooks that I have with the same kind of effect, and see what happens with that paper. So basically I did finish drawing this, and I did have trouble with the hands. Hands are one of my downfalls when it comes to drawing things, and most of the time I do try to hide the hands. I don't even draw them at all. But I am trying to broaden my skills and what I can do, so I stuck with it, and everything is not shown here because it did take me like almost 3 hours to draw this picture and color it, like to do the entire piece. And I would say a good 30 to 40 minutes where I'm drawing these little hands here, because I cannot draw hands. And as you can see right here, I'm struggling a little bit, and then I decided to change the shape of the hand altogether to something that I could handle, or that I could draw without erasing a hole right through my paper. So the end result is coming up here shortly. There we go. So it's not easy for me to draw everything. There are some things that I'm comfortable with and some things I have to work a little bit harder for, and I'm sure that everyone that does create, or that people that create some form of art or another, aren't good at everything, and they do have struggles, whether it be something that would be easy to someone else or harder to someone else. There's always something that we find a little bit harder to do at times. So I'm using Prismacolor Premier pencils here, and laying down some dark colors for the shading effect, and then some lighter colors, and I'm using the Prismacolor white pencil rather than the blender as suggested by Dramatic Parrot. I'll put her link to her videos or her channel down below. She suggests that you use the white pencil because you can do, I believe she said you can do more layering with it rather than using the colorless blender, because it either takes away the look. You know, I really should do a bit more research before I go ahead and start talking on here, but I'm pretty sure she said that you can do more layering if you use the white pencil rather than using the colorless blender. And the colorless blender leaves streaks behind. You can see where you're coloring. Whereas if you use the regular white pencil, you can kind of build on top of that and it's not as noticeable. That's what I took out of it anyway. So I did notice the difference when I was using the white pencil compared to times before when I had used the colorless blender and got a completely different effect. So it does take me a little while to get the coloring and everything down. As I said, the video did take 3 hours for me to make, but I did stop between this. It took me 3 or 4 days to finally get this video completely done. There had been some other things going on during this week that prevented me from getting things done as I wanted. So overall, it did take a couple of days, but I did manage to bring the video down to a decent viewing time. So we got 15 minutes out of the video. I don't really have a whole lot more to say about the image itself. I noticed when coloring the image that some colors were a little bit harder to work with, and I think I need more practice on coloring in areas where there's a big, like blue on blue, you can blend really nice, and you don't see a mess in between. I'm going to call it a mess because I don't really know how to put it other than that. But when you do a purple and then the black and then the blue, you have a slight chance of bringing one of those other colors into the color you're working on, if that makes any sense. That's how I would describe it. So it's a little bit challenging, especially if you don't have your pencils sharpened to point. And I find that I don't usually do that because I find that it's wasteful of the coloring lead. And Prismacolors, while they're not really expensive, like they're not far-fetched, you know, they are still not that cheap either. So I try to use up my supplies as best as I can. So I just wanted to mention as well that over the next few weeks, I will be having a bunch of different videos on our channel. I've just gotten some new Copic paper that I want to try out, and I haven't tried out the Copics on anything other than watercolor paper and paper in a moleskin journal. So I kind of want to do a comparison of what I like the best. So that'll be a video as well that'll be uploaded pretty soon. And as I said a few minutes ago, I do want to do a video on the tone tan and tone grade paper as well. And I also have a new light box that I haven't really used yet, or a light pad, and I want to be able to incorporate that into a video. Also, I did hit 200 subscribers early last week, I believe it was, and I haven't done a giveaway for that yet, so that will be a video as well. What I have planned on doing is creating a piece of art through a time-lapse video as a thank you, and then I would like to do a giveaway so someone, a subscriber, can obtain that piece of original art for themselves. So that is my plan. So that's going to be another video as well. Also, just to throw in there that if you're interested in show and tells and unboxings, I do have a somewhat of a hobby channel where there's going to be a lot of a big mixture of different types of videos on there as well. If you'd like to check that out, links are all down in the description. So back to the image here. So at this point in the picture, I found that a lot of the dust from the pencil was coming out onto the paper, and I was smudging it quite a bit with my hand. So I just grabbed this, I guess it's a plastic page protector that I have my color chart in there for my Prismacolors, so they're easier to match up. So I'm just using that to rest my hand on so I'm not creating a big mess on the paper here. And I found that I learned the hard way that you shouldn't wipe off the dust of the pencil with your fingers. I after learned that you should use a piece of tissue or paper towel, or even I thought of after I could have used a paintbrush like a dry paintbrush to flick the particles away. So then the oils, I guess, from your fingers or whatever it is you're using don't push the pigment from the pencil into the page, because you can see on the left hand side there, you can see the dust from the pencil, and that's where I tried to wipe it off with my hand. Big no-no, don't do it, but I did learn a lesson for next time. So, and as I said, this is all learning experience for me. I did do a couple pictures a while back of some Octopode Factory characters that are done pretty much in this way, but I'm still by no means am I an expert at doing this. And I apologize at the end here, my camera does get a little bit shaky. I have no idea why it would stay in focus, and I apologize for that, and we'll get it taken care of before the next video. So it's getting pretty close to the end here, and I'm kind of running out of things to say. So I'm just gonna let you finish watching the rest of the video here and hope you enjoy it. And if you did enjoy it, don't forget to like the video, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I do upload videos 1 to 3 times a week on this channel, and as mentioned earlier in this video, I have other channels as well if you would like to check those out. So again, thank you so much for watching, and hope you enjoy the video. Bye for now.